When Rock Hudson died, people started talking about his private life and the things he never shared while he was alive. But he wasn't the only celebrity to keep secrets. Many stars have hidden parts of their lives and took those secrets with them when they passed away. Now, some of those secrets are being shared by close friends and family. Keep watching. You might be surprised by what you learn about some of your favorite stars. Clark Gable and Loretta Young. Clark Gable had a big secret that he kept for the rest of his life. When he died in 1960, most people didn't know he was the real father of Judy Lewis, the daughter of his co-star Loretta Young. They worked together on the movie The Call of the Wild in 1935. Shortly after filming, Loretta took a break from acting and later came back with a baby girl. Since she wasn't married, she told everyone she had adopted the child. Years later, Loretta quietly told someone that during the train ride home after filming, Gable came into her sleeping cabin one night. She never spoke publicly about what happened, but in Hollywood, people guessed the truth. When Judy was born, someone is said to have sent Gable a telegram about the baby, but people close to him said he tore it up without reading it. Loretta never told Judy who her real father was. Judy only found out when she was 23 years old. In 1958, while she was engaged, questions about her past and her future marriage led to the truth finally being revealed. Judy was heartbroken. She later shared her story in her book, Uncommon Knowledge, where she talked about how all the secrets hurt her and created a painful distance between her and her mother, Loretta. On the very first page, she wrote, "My life has been filled with hypocrisy and deception from the moment I was born, but the worst was still to come." Close family friends said Loretta later admitted that what happened with Clark Gable wasn't just a simple affair. In 1975, while watching TV, she heard the term date rape for the first time. She asked what it meant, and after hearing the answer, she quietly said, "That's what happened between me and Clark." Even though the truth was hard, Judy and Loretta were able to rebuild their relationship. Loretta died in 2000 at the age of 87, and Judy passed away in 2011 at age 76. Marilyn Monroe. There are still many questions about Marilyn Monroe's life and how she died. When she passed away on August 5, 1962, it led to years of rumors and conspiracy theories. One of the most famous ideas is that she was killed because of her rumored relationship with the Kennedy brothers. A book called The Murder of Marilyn Monroe suggests that her psychiatrist, Dr. Ralph Greenson, might have given her a deadly shot. The book points to signs that her death may not have been a suicide. For example, she had bruises on her left hip, a common place for injections. Also, there was no vomit found, which is usually seen in pill overdoses. Tests showed high levels of sleeping drugs in her body, enough for 30 to 40 pills, but strangely, there were no signs of the drugs in her stomach, kidneys, urine, or intestines. There wasn't even a water glass in her room at first, which she would have needed to swallow that many pills, though one mysteriously showed up later in photos. Some neighbors said they saw Robert Kennedy at Marilyn's house the night before she died. Another part of the mystery involves a box of sealed papers called Box 39 that belonged to Dr. Greenson, who was the one who found her body. Some people believe he may have been involved in her death. Lana Turner. Hollywood has had many scandals, but few were as shocking as the death of Johnny Stompanato. He was a former mob associate and had a troubled, violent relationship with famous actress Lana Turner. Known for having a bad temper, Stompanato was said to have been abusive toward Lana. Then, one night in 1958, he was stabbed to death at Lana's home. The only people there were Lana and her 14-year-old daughter, Cheryl Crane. Cheryl later confessed to the killing, saying she acted in self-defense to protect her mother. Rumors quickly spread. Some people believe Cheryl took the blame to protect Lana, since a murder charge could have destroyed Lana's career. Although there were whispers of a different story for years, Lana was never charged. Cheryl later wrote a memoir saying she alone was responsible for what happened that night. No matter what the full truth was, one thing is clear. Hollywood quickly moved on from Johnny Stompanato, Rock Hudson, and Cary Grant. One of the most well-known examples is Rock Hudson, a famous movie star in the 1950s and 60s. He was known for his charm and good looks and was seen as a heartthrob. But he had a secret. He was gay. He kept this hidden to protect his career. The public didn't find out until he died from AIDS in 1985. His death brought more attention to the AIDS crisis, but during his life, he kept his secret very carefully. Another actor often mentioned in the same way is Cary Grant. He was never openly gay, but people have talked about his sexuality for years. He lived with actor Randolph Scott for a long time, which led many to wonder if they were more than just friends. Some believe Grant was bisexual, while others think the rumors were exaggerated. Unlike Hudson, Grant didn't have to face these rumors in public while he was working. Back then, Hollywood expected male stars to look and act a certain way. Both Hudson and Grant worked in a time when many actors had to hide who they really were. Whether it was their own choice or because of pressure, they kept their private lives secret. Their stories show how hard it was for actors to be themselves without risking their careers. James Dean. James Dean was more than just a good-looking movie star. He became a symbol of teenage rebellion. He's best known for his roles in Rebel Without a Cause, East of Eden, and Giant, where he often played troubled young men. In real life, he also seemed to have a lot of emotional struggles, just like the characters he played. People have wondered about his love life for years. He dated a few women, including actress Pier Angeli, but there were also rumors that he had relationships with men. Some close friends and writers believe he may have been bisexual, but no one knows for sure. Dean had a tough relationship with his father, and many think he carried emotional pain from his childhood. He liked fast cars and risky activities, which some believe were signs of his inner struggles. Sadly, he died in a car crash in 1955 when he was just 24 years old. Since then, people have continued to ask questions. Was he afraid of Hollywood's strict image rules? Were the stories about his personal life true or just gossip? James Dean never shared those answers, and that mystery has only made his legend grow stronger. Judy Garland. Judy Garland's life seemed like a fairy tale, but it ended in sadness. She became a star after playing Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, winning hearts with her amazing voice and emotional acting. But behind the scenes, her life was very hard. She became famous when she was very young and was under constant pressure from Hollywood. The movie studio controlled her schedule, what she ate, and even parts of her personal life. MGM reportedly gave her pills to lose weight and to help her sleep, which led to a long battle with addiction. To the public, she was America's sweetheart, but people close to her saw how much she was suffering. She struggled with depression, anxiety, and a deep need to feel loved. She was married 5 times, but many of those relationships ended in heartbreak. Her children, including Liza Minnelli, later talked about her drug use and emotional struggles. Garland died in 1969 at just 47 years old from an accidental overdose, shocking fans everywhere. Many believe she spent her life searching for love and happiness but never truly found it. One big question still remains. Did she ever realize how deeply people loved and admired her? Not just as a star, but as a person? Sadly, she never got to fully tell her side of the story. She died with many secrets, leaving behind questions that still remain in Hollywood today. Greta Garbo. Greta Garbo was more than just a movie star. She was a mystery. The actress from Sweden became famous during the silent film era, winning fans with her beauty and quiet, mysterious personality. But after a very successful career, she surprised everyone by retiring in the 1940s and disappearing from the spotlight. Unlike other stars, Garbo avoided interviews, public events, and Hollywood parties. She never got married, and her love life is still one of Hollywood's biggest mysteries. Some people believe she had relationships with both men and women, including director Moritz Stiller, writer Mercedes de Acosta, and actress Marlene Dietrich. But Garbo never confirmed any of it. She chose to keep her personal life completely private. Even in her later years, she rarely talked about her career or why she left Hollywood when she was still so famous. No one knows if she ever regretted leaving or felt lonely living such a private life. Greta Garbo died in 1990 at the age of 84, taking all her secrets with her. Her quiet, private life has only made her more interesting, and she's still remembered as one of the most mysterious stars in film history. Bette Davis. Bette Davis was a strong and talented actress, known for her sharp voice, intense eyes, and bold personality. She became famous for playing tough, independent women. But in her personal life, she had many problems. She went through several failed marriages, had many arguments with people, and had a troubled relationship with her daughter, B.D. Hyman. Later on, B.D. wrote a shocking book that described Davis as a controlling and demanding mother. During her career, Davis often stood up to the Hollywood studio system. She didn't want to be stuck playing just one type of role and often challenged the powerful men in charge. She was known for speaking her mind, though she also kept some parts of her life private. One mystery that remains is how serious her rivalry with actress Joan Crawford really was. Their feud was famous, but some think it was made bigger just to get attention. Others believe Davis truly didn't like Crawford, even more than she admitted. In her later years, Davis had health problems and was deeply hurt by her daughter's book. She spoke out against it, but no one knows exactly how she felt about the way she was portrayed. Did she think people misunderstood her? Was there more to her story than people knew? That Davis died in 1989, taking many of those answers with her. Even after her death, she's remembered as fearless, talented, and one of the greatest stars in movie history. Anthony Perkins. Anthony Perkins, famous for playing Norman Bates in Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, had a life full of both fame and secrets. During his 40-year career, he starred in movies like Friendly Persuasion, which got him an Oscar nomination, and On the Beach. He often played nervous or troubled characters, and people always remembered him as Norman Bates. Sometimes he didn't like being linked to that role. He once joked, "We all go a little mad sometimes." When Perkins died in 1992 at age 60, many people were surprised. He had quietly been fighting AIDS for 2 years but kept it private. He didn't want fans to think of him as sick. After he died, a statement said, "To misquote Casablanca, I'm not much at being noble, but it doesn't take much to see that the problems of one old actor don't amount to a hill of beans in this crazy world." He also believed AIDS was a way to teach people love, understanding, and kindness. Perkins wanted to protect the happiness his work gave to fans. He died at home with his wife, photographer Barry Berenson, and their 2 sons Osgood and Elvis. Besides acting, he was also a musician, poet, and even directed Psycho 3. He had relationships with both men and women and was openly bisexual, but he kept his personal life private. He cared more about his art than about being in the public eye. In the end, by keeping his illness a secret, he showed how much he wanted people to remember him as the unforgettable Norman Bates, not as a sad or tragic figure. Joan Crawford. Joan Crawford was famous for her glamorous movie roles, but her private life was full of problems, especially after she died in 1977. Her adopted daughter Christina wrote a well-known book called Mommy Dearest. In it, she said Crawford was emotionally and physically abusive. While Crawford tried to show she was a loving mother, some people who knew her said she was very controlling and could be harsh when no one was watching. There were also rumors that Crawford acted in adult films before she became a Hollywood star, but she always denied this. Many people still wonder how true Mommy Dearest really is, and if Crawford had a secret life the public never saw. Even now, fans and writers argue about what really happened, but Crawford never got to tell her side of the story before she died, leaving a mystery about who she really was. Howard Hughes was another famous person with a private life full of secrets. By the time he died in 1976, he was no longer the successful pilot, movie producer, and businessman people once admired. He became very lonely, living in hotel rooms, letting his hair and nails grow long, and only talking to the world through assistants. Many believe his strange behavior was hiding bigger secrets, maybe about politics, hidden inventions, or secret relationships. In his last years, Hughes became very paranoid, which made people even more curious about what he knew. After he died, many people fought over his money and several wills appeared, causing more confusion. Even though many books have tried to find out the truth, Hughes took many secrets about his money, power, and personal life with him to the grave. Rita Hayworth, whose real name was Margarita Carmen Cancino, changed herself a lot to fit into Hollywood. Many fans didn't know she was Spanish until years later. To become a big star in the 1940s, she changed her name, made her hairline higher with painful treatments, and worked hard to look like an all-American star. But her life was hard behind the scenes. Her marriages, including one to filmmaker Orson Welles, had many problems, like cheating and heartbreak. Later in life, she started having memory problems and confusion. She quietly struggled with Alzheimer's disease for many years before people found out. Experts think her illness affected her acting in her last movies and her relationships with close people. By the time her illness became public, it was too late to fully understand what she had been going through. She died in 1987, leaving questions about how much her hidden illness changed her final years.
Doris Day.
Doris Day was known for her sweet and happy roles in old movies like Pillow Talk and Calamity Jane. But behind her cheerful image, she had many personal problems. She had money troubles, several divorces, and sad losses. Her third husband, Marty Melcher, handled her money badly, almost making her broke. This was kept secret until legal actions revealed the truth. Later in life, Doris became very private. She left fame behind and focused on helping animals. She also kept her real age a secret. Official records showed she was 2 years older than people thought. Doris Day died in 2019 at 97 years old. Many fans only knew the happy, positive person from her movies, but she kept the harder parts of her life private.